back and forth. But what if he was rude and then the illness just has completely taken over? Mr. Peterson, his other personality, like that's who he is now. But maybe that's not who he was all along. Maybe he was John. And then Mr. Peterson has been playing and I didn't even know it. And then now Mr. Peterson has taken over. Good morning to me. Good extension of yesterday to me is what this is. Hi, Mama. She's loud today. So I'm feeling better than I was most of yesterday. What did you just smell? He just smelled something and is growling about it. Since John texted me last night, I just feel better. Doesn't matter all the shit that I read, doesn't matter the conversations that I had yesterday with my dad and stepmom or my mom. Him responding to me has made me feel better. And now that we're just a little bit over 12 hours out, I wonder when the withdrawal will start. That's fun. It's always fun. So here's the thing. I spent some time last night thinking about kind of a revelation that I had yesterday. And I'm not sure if this is something. I'm not sure if it's not something. One thing I know is that from everything that I've learned, it says, like, stop sitting around thinking about the past. And so what I'm doing is then I'm going to sit around and think about the past. But when I saw that thing yesterday, when I saw his text yesterday that said that he was coming home to St. Louis and that was his final decision. That's the first time I've actually seen that in writing, ever, that I remember. Like, I've been saying that a lot. I've been saying that when we sat on the driveway and we had that conversation, and like it was him and it was myself, and we were sitting there holding hands, hip to hip, like having this deep conversation. And he was telling me what the fuck to do with the default and with the house and with the animals and how he wanted me here. And like, he didn't need his chunk of money. He wanted his chunk of money to stay in the house so that his family could stay in the house, blah, 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 that he wanted still to take care of me. That was how he was still gonna take care of me. He still the fuck was gonna move to Vegas. Both of us still wanted to reconcile in the future. And then he would have a home and a life and a wife and a place to come home to if that happened. And then he also was not going to then force the sale of the house in the case of a bipolar episode, because his name was going to be off the house. There wasn't anything that he was going to be able to do about it. Like, we had this conversation, and he literally said, that's my final answer. And don't fucking go against it. And I know that I've been saying that. And then I read that yesterday. It's the thing non-related. And I'm like, oh my God. Because he said that final answer bullshit back in July, but then he said that again in September about the house. That's when he called my lawyer and told them that he wasn't going to sign a decree. He wasn't getting a lawyer. He wasn't going to take anything from the house, to give me everything however I wanted to do it. And I remember sitting there with him going like, this is John. We had had a couple very rough months of communication that I don't even know if I'm ever the fuck gonna get through. But when he was here and we had that, like, I knew that that was him. That was my guy. And that was why I proceeded the way that I proceeded. I proceeded exactly the fuck how he told me to do it. And then he got mad at me because I got pissed at him. As we can see, that happens. And then he flipped. And that's been like the big, well, there's a lot of big fucking things, but that's been a thing with me in this court thing, and hence getting the divorce, the whatever the fuck, set aside, because he's saying that I fucking manipulated him, and that he didn't know anything about anything, and didn't even know, you know, when or where, how or why we were getting divorced, but that also we did have a conversation about it, and he expected me to uphold my end of that conversation, but he also, how the fuck did we have that conversation if he didn't even know we were getting divorced, or where, when, or how, or wow, or like any of that shit, you know? So like that's also he's saying everything that he can say. But I think when he said in his, I'm watching what's happening here with the crazy bullshit, and I think that I'm watching John disappear. Now, people are gonna say, because people are saying, you know, there is no John. Not what I'm talking about with John. Not my country guy. Not the guy that I was supposed to have babies with. Like, he doesn't exist. That was a mask to the monster. But also, what if it wasn't? What if he was real? Which is how I kind of felt at one point, at least. I've gone back and forth. But what if he was real? And then the illness just has completely taken over. Mr. Peterson, his other personality, like that's who he is now. But maybe that's not who he was all along. Maybe he was John. And then Mr. Peterson has been playing, and I didn't even know it. And then now Mr. Peterson has taken over. And that's why that motherfucker said what he said in court about me, and is coming after me in court, and just changing the whole the fuck story. And being someone that he swore that he never would be. And being, you know, like, how do you hurt someone so much when you say you love them? Well, maybe it's not him that's hurting me. Maybe it's not him. I sound fucking nuts. I don't know why I speak like this when I talk about him, but I lose my shit. Hi, Mama. But like, maybe it's not him. Maybe it is just Mr. Peterson fucking me over in court, you know? And maybe that's why he felt so cold when I touched him. Not just because we haven't seen each other in a year, and, you know, he's got like all of these new girlfriends and things. But that Mr. Peterson fully is in control now. But maybe John did love me. You know? And that's kind of what I thought about for the last 12 hours. Is maybe I wasn't fully taken. Maybe he was really in there fighting for me and for him and for us. Maybe he really is that boy. I mean, the boy's gone, the boy's dead. But maybe that was him that last, it wasn't him in October, but in October, he was much colder. I was desperate in October to try to find a connection with him. And it was gone. And I wonder if that's what that was in September, when we had that conversation. And he said what he said, and then he drove away. Maybe that really was John that I had that talk with. Maybe he really did mean it. Maybe he really did mean it. All of it. That he wanted me here, that he wanted to come home, that he wanted our family here. And that even if he didn't come home, he still wanted to take care of me from afar, you know? And then he really was struggling as soon as he got back to Vegas. Then he immediately, well, I mean, he never the fuck has not been suicidal. Sounds like not. But he really started to struggle as soon as he got to Vegas, and shit got really bad. Like, he drove for a couple days and got to Vegas and unloaded his shit, and then stuff did get really bad with the suicide talking and all that stuff. And I wonder if that was Mr. Peterson finally taking over for good. Maybe he did love me. It makes me feel better to think that maybe he did in some capacity, and that this wasn't just completely a joke to him, you know? That's why he said that was his final answer, and not to fucking go against it, because he knew. He knew what was happening. And he knew what he was gonna fucking do when Mr. Peterson took back. Wonder how many personalities he really has. I don't want Mr. Peterson to come home, but my God, maybe that was John. So that's what I've been thinking about. Memories. So. I think that was him. I think that was the last time I saw him. I don't think I'm as dumb as I think that I am now. I think that he really was real. Makes me feel better to think about it that way anyway. I know I'm retarded. I don't even want to do this anymore. I don't know why the fuck I'm even doing this. And then I know also, God damn it, why? It's okay, Hank. Why couldn't he have come home? He didn't want to come home. So clear reading the fucking messages and remembering all of that communication and the talks and he didn't want to come home. I clearly didn't want him either, so we both went. That's such a fucking lie. I wanted John to be here. Okay, I'm gonna start this over so that when I start reading his birthday bullshit, it doesn't cut out in the middle. This sucks.